Hi, it's time for our Lego Bible story. Are you ready? Do you have all of your Legos ready? I have mine out. I have little Lego-sized Jesus with us today. And our reading today comes from the Gospel of John. Remember, the Gospels are the first 4 books of the New Testament that tell us about what Jesus said and did when he was here. And this is the very beginning of that Gospel. And we hear about a man named John. And he was a witness to testify to the light so that everybody could believe through him. He wasn't the light, but he came to testify, to tell about the light. And so people went to ask him, "Who are you?" The priests and the Levites went. And he said, "I am not the Messiah." And they said, "Well then, are you Elijah?" And he said, "No, I'm not." "Are you the prophet?" "No." "Then who are you? We need an answer." And he said, "I am the voice of the one crying out in the wilderness, 'Make straight the way of the Lord,' as the prophet Isaiah said." Now, these people who came to ask him the questions had been sent by the Pharisees. And they said, "Why are you baptizing then if you're not the Messiah or Elijah or a prophet?" And John said, "I baptize with water. Among you stands one whom you do not know, the one who is coming after me. I am not worthy to untie the thong of his sandal." So this reading is about John the Baptist. Well, it's really about Jesus, but the person in the story is John the Baptist, who's Jesus' cousin. Well, we'll make this guy John the Baptist today. And they asked him who he was. And he didn't really say much about who he was. He said what he did. He was to testify. He was kind of to point the way. I'm going to make an arrow today. But they wanted to know, was he the Messiah? And he said, "No, not the Messiah." He said, I'm not Elijah. I'm not the prophet. I'm not any of these things." I wonder if you ever answer the question that way. If somebody asks you who you are, do you say who you're not? Like usually if somebody asks me who I am, I say I'm Eileen. I don't usually say I'm not Danielle. I say who I am. But John said who he was not. Do you ever say who you are in relation to other people? Like if I'm someplace where people know my dad, I might say, "I'm Eileen, I'm Patty's daughter." Or I might, if I'm someplace where people know my aunt, I might say, "I'm Eileen's niece, Eileen." If I'm somewhere where people know my son, I might say, "I'm Declan's mom." But those are all ways that I say who I am, not who I'm not. I wonder which way you answer that question. John was pointing the way to Jesus. And Jesus is falling again. He said he wasn't Jesus. He wasn't the Messiah. He wasn't the one who was coming. But he was to testify. He was to live and to talk in such a way that people would turn and see Jesus. It'd be nice if it was always a big arrow, wouldn't it? If we could always just see where Jesus was, it was that clear. But even the people of the day couldn't see that clearly. They were coming to John to say, "Who are you? What are you doing?" And John was trying to point the way to Jesus. I wonder how we live in a way that points to Jesus. I wonder if when we are showing love and care for the earth, is that pointing the way to Jesus? If we show love and care for one another, does that point the way to Jesus? I wonder. John was baptizing, so that was something that was pointing the way. That was an action that these people could see. But I wonder how we do that. I wonder how you've done it. I have to say, in this case, Jesus kind of looks like an airplane, you know, kind of bringing the planes in. Just looks a little bit odd. But I wonder how, if Jesus is saying, come to me, how we help people see that. I wonder what the arrow would be made of. I wonder if we pointed the way to Jesus, would other people follow and find him? And I wonder if we keep thinking about how to point the way to Jesus, if we get closer to Jesus too. I wonder what you'll build with this story.